Hello, today I'm going to be showing you how to make a simple choropleth map in ArcGIS Pro. Go ahead and click on Map as a new blank template, and you're going to go ahead and just name your project whatever you want. Click OK. Next, we're going to wait for the map to actually load into our screen. It usually takes a little bit. Now, the first thing we're going to do once we have our map is go ahead and insert our data. Click on Map. We're going to click Add Data, and we're going to use the Living Atlas, which is an awesome resource that ArcGIS has. I'm going to go ahead and search in COVID-19 counties, click on the data, and it will automatically load into our screen. So now I'm going to zoom into our data set by scrolling my mouse and then clicking to move that area where I'm looking at as I so desire. Then, depending on the data you input, you may be wondering what the heck you're looking at. Go ahead and right-click on your data in the table of contents, and it's going to open something called the attribute table. This attribute table tells you basically anything and everything you want to know on the specifics of your data. For this project, though, we don't need to look at it, so I'm going to go ahead and close that. Next, over here on the right, you have your symbology pane, which is automatically pulled up on the side of my screen, and it shows me how to customize features on my map. We have unique values inputted into this data, so I don't want to change anything, but I want you to know what's there. You can change your data and how it's represented by going into Appearance and then Symbology. You can change the color scheme to better suit your values, as we did here. We don't want this for this map, so I'm going to go back and do my undo arrow. I'm also going to save my map because ArcGIS is unfortunately prone to crashing if you're working with large data sets or have other programs running at the same time. I'm going to go ahead and insert something called a base map. This is just basically kind of like the background, and you'll see it change in a second. But I'm going to go ahead and select Human Geography Dark Map, and as you can see, it now kind of contrasts the data of my map, and it makes it a little less distracting. I now like how everything looks, so I'm going to go ahead and create my layout. I'm going to use landscape. I now have a blank layout page, and in order to get my map on the page, I need to click map frame and then click on the map I was working on. Then click and drag your map onto the page however much you want it to be. And then if it doesn't look how you want, don't worry, we can adjust that. Just right click and then we're going to select activate. This allows you to move around the map however you want. If I suddenly want to include Alaska, I can zoom out by scrolling down on the mouse, and if I'm happy with my selection, I can go ahead and click the little back arrow up here next to the layout title. Every map needs a title, so let's add one by clicking this option up here just to add in some straight text. Click and drag where you want your text to go and begin typing. If I want to adjust how the text looks, I just click on format up here and then I make the changes that I want. I'm going to go ahead and just make everything white, and I'm going to decrease the size so it actually fits on our page. And then I'm going to go ahead and center it. Luckily, there's a nice little line that tells me when it's nice and centered. Next, we need to insert our legend so our audience knows what they're actually looking at. To do that, go back to Insert and click on Legend. Click and drag it to the area you want to fill. You can do the same kind of adjustments that we did in the title just by clicking on the Format button up here. Though importantly, one big thing we need to change is the title of our legend, because right now it's just reading the name of the data set we use, which doesn't make much sense. We can change this by double-clicking on the data set in the table of contents, and the changes we make here will be applied in the map. Next, let's go back to Insert, and we're going to add in a north arrow. You can click whatever north arrow you want. I'm just going to do the main simple one. It's black, which doesn't match the theme of my map, so I'm going to go ahead and make it white. Lastly, what we need to do is add in a scale bar. So, same thing, I'm going to go to Insert, click Scale Bar, and then I'm going to make the same adjustments I've been making this whole time by going to Format once again, and I'm going to just turn everything white. You can add in any other features or text that you might want to make your map the best it can be, but for me, I feel happy with how this layout looks. So I'm going to go ahead and save it one more time, and then I'm going to go up to this Share tab up top, and I'm going to then click Export Layout. Make sure it's in the proper file type that you want and that it's going to the right destination on your computer. I want mine to be in a JPEG, and now that I have that set, I am ready to export my map. Awesome. Congratulations on completing your first ArcGIS map. A few other things to note is that ArcGIS is mostly used by geographers because it's the most trusted tool for making maps, typically being used by students and professionals to visualize data. Though if you don't commonly make maps for your chosen major or job, I wouldn't recommend spending the time learning this program. It typically costs a lot of money to use the program, but it's free for USU students to use in select libraries around campus if you're wanting to play around with it.